The haunting hour is at hand. Ghostly haunting since time began. Raw side paranormal seeks the truth, looking for some kind of real proof. Creepy floorboards and eerie dark mist. Grab your camera and document this. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. A slamming door causes a fright. A shadowed hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the wrong side. A slamming door causes a fright. A shadowed hand appears in sight. Grab your REM pods and your K2s, or anything else you can use. No time to run, no time to hide. We are catching all of this on the raw side. The icy air touches your neck. You feel like screaming, but you stay in check. Orbs rising up to take the magical flight. You can't believe what's happening tonight. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side. Don't run, don't try to hide. We are catching this all on the raw side.
There it was. Can you hear me now?
Gotcha now. Yes.
Alrighty. I don't know. Did the sound check? It all worked out. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Howdy.
I'm telling you, if it'll go wrong, it'll go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's just part of the game, I guess. How's Mr. Bill today?
I'm not bad. How's things in Chutica?
Oh, hot and humid and miserable.
Yeah, things are pretty hot here as well.
Just no let up in sight. Can't get anything accomplished. All you do is sweat,
And melt.
pretty much. Thank God I did the other day. I did the grass and it was halfway decent because there's no way it would have had to just grow because it's just been hot and rotten. And
I just
It's-
wait. I wait
Yeah.
until well, first of all, we're a lot alike with our sort of, I hate using the word disability, but with our issues with, physically. But I just wait till I get motivated. It takes a while. It takes hours before I can get motivated to do anything. So I wait till pretty much the evening until I do
Right.
anything. And then I always well, the sun's going down, so now I feel better. And then it gets a little cooler. So yeah.
it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. So definitely.
So, all right. We're just going to do just kind of like an open smorgasbord, I guess, of chat
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Just for all the new people that don't know who we are, introduce yourself, Mr. Bill.
All right. Yeah. So I do a channel called Carburetors and Coffee, and it's just a version of sort of tutorials and you sort of never know what you're going to run into on my channel. Laura's is a little bit different, but we like to collaborate on. We have a common interest on her side, but with my channel, it's if you don't know how to do brakes and oil changes and it could be anything to changing a bicycle chain to anything like that, and some humor along the way, and drinking coffee and coffee talk and all that kind of thing. That's what you're going to run into on my channel. I once in a while I have my kids involved, and it's more like pulling old cars out of the weeds and getting them running and cleaning snakes out of there and mice. And like I said, you never know what you're going to get on my channel. And 3 kids, a wife, and yeah, there's no thrills on my end. How about you, Laura? Tell us about you.
Well, I want to get a little bit deeper there. We want to know about Bill the person.
Oh, yeah. Well, how about be specific? Because I think we went through this before. I have a hard time talking about myself.
Well, we want to know, what did Bill do before he did Carburetors and Coffee?
Oh, well, I do have another. Let's sort of go backward just a touch. I do have another channel. It's called Supercharged Cars. And in the beginning, when I started that in like 2007, and it was like all over the place. It was really random, because that's what YouTube was. It was sort of, YouTube was very random when it first started. Like, nobody was like a niche sort of thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do a paranormal channel. Oh, I'm going to do a car channel. YouTube was like, sort of, you threw stuff at the wall, and it was like whatever. Like, oh, you put your kids' birthday parties up there. That's what it was. So
Right.
when you first go to like Supercharged Cars, I remember I came up with that name because at that time I was driving cars that had superchargers on them. They were a Grand Prix GTP, a Buick Regal with a supercharger, and I had 2 of those. So I had 3 cars that had superchargers on them. So I'm like, okay, I'll just call it Supercharged Cars. So that's what I called the channel. And I was making these videos where I was doing RC airplanes. Sometimes I would do breaks and things like that, but not a lot. I was doing comedy stuff with my friend. It was whatever I was doing. And
That day, right.
yeah, it was very random. If you
Right.
watch the beginning stuff, it's like, what is this guy doing? And then I started thinking, I got to start doing things that I like to do, and it's simple. So my body was like really breaking down. I'm on medication now that it really helps a lot. If you watch Carburetors and Coffee, you'll see where I can do a lot better physical things. Not a lot, but I can last about 3 hours out in the garage before, like on camera, I put the face on, just like you now and
Right.
we're putting the face on. We sort of leave our face at the door, and when we stop recording and when we're done, we do the glad that's over with sort of. But I can last about 3 hours out in the garage before, like, I have to turn the camera off and I'm done. I have to get my chair. But at that time, I was like not on any medications. They didn't know what was wrong with me. So, which was the spinal degeneration and the platelets in between my spine. And it was my SI joint, my sacroiliac is deteriorated. So anyways, I want to do YouTube, but I don't know what to do. All my life, I had been collecting die-cast toys. So, Hot Wheels and Matchbox. So you'll see, like, all of a sudden I transition into like doing Hot Wheels and stuff like that. So I have my daughters and stuff, so I'm doing like racetracks and things like that. So
Right.
all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well, Supercharged Cars, it still goes along with that, cars. So like, it's all of a sudden I've got probably 50 videos towards the end of Supercharged Cars that are all these videos of that kind of stuff where I'm doing high-end collectibles now. So that channel has sort of taken a back burner because now I started doing like motorcycles and things like that, where now I'm on the medication where I'm getting older and I really feel like I don't want to sit in my chair and wither away. I want to get out and at least be productive and not deteriorate. So I was like, all right, I would get out there and I'm like, okay, I've got all this junk to work on. Why don't I film it? And I had my friend Elby, he'd be like, dude, you should be filming this stuff. And I'd be like,
Right.
yeah, I know. And then so I was just like, yeah, so why don't I just grab the camera and start filming it? And yeah, it becomes a pain in the neck to start doing that because sometimes I just want to do the brakes. I just want to replace this radiator. I just want to do it and get it over with and get back in the house. But after a while, it becomes second nature to just start doing that. And at the end of the day, you have some footage to play with and sit down and make your video and everything. And it at least makes me feel like I'm part of something because I don't know, like you know, at least you're doing something.
Right.
And I think I have decided, I think I might start going back onto my supercharged cars because I have like 1,350 subscribers on there, and they're probably wondering like,
What the heck happened to you?
yeah, what happened to this guy? I need to follow up. It's been about a year since I've done anything with it, and say, hey guys, here I am. Here's what's going on. And by the way, because I have behind me, like my shelf was full of like RC cars, RC
Right.
airplanes, tons of like diecast stuff that once in a while I still will pick up if I see something I like, especially Porsches. I tell my wife, listen, if you see, I told her, don't buy me any more stuff. I have way too much stuff. But if you see a Porsche, because it's just my favorite car, if you see a Porsche, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, get it. No matter what one it is, just get it. So she will still get that for me if she happens to be perusing
In
the
that
aisle
section,
and
right?
she sees one, she'll grab it for me. So even if it's like a 3-minute video on supercharged cars, I think I will still do that. But I was thinking about it. But so I do Epidemic Sound, the paid music, you know,
Right.
and I'm now no longer, in order to use their music selection, you have to pay every year for that. So I transferred my subscription obviously to Carburetors and Coffee, but I don't want to go ahead and pay for another subscription for supercharged
Right.
cars. So what I'm going to have to do is I think I'll either have to write my own music, because I also do that, and use it for that channel, or don't do any music at all, or go into the YouTube files, because they have their own music.
Right.
But then it starts sounding cheesy when you do that, because everybody uses it, and you're like, oh, another cookie cutter sort of sound.
Right.
But you got to take the good with the bad. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, okay,
You just want to make it your own.
yeah, but it's like, okay, you can't have everything. So I guess I do, you know, if I'm just going to make a 3 or 5 minute video for supercharged cars, it's kind of like I need to go on there and go, hey guys, by the way, Carburetors and Coffee, I only have like 112 subscribers. Can you do me a favor and hop on over? Because you got to figure, if those guys are watching those kind of show videos, hopefully they're like, they have big cars too that they're
Right.
interested in. So and as far as, like, to answer your follow-up on your question, what I went to tractor trailer school, I did that. I was a dental technician for 25 years, and that's for 25 years I was a dental technician, and for 2 years I was a commercial truck driver of 18-wheelers. So, and I didn't like that.
Well, they beat the hell out of your body.
That too. That was one of the biggest things. I loved driving the tractor trailer. The way that I describe that job is, you either have to be a bachelor, because I was an over the road truck driver. I have to get that straight. I was an over the road truck driver. You either have to be a bachelor, or you have to, and if you're a family man, you have to hate your family. I, on the other hand, love my wife and my family. And I was miserable, and I was like an emotional wreck being away from them. So I just couldn't handle being out there on the road. And it was, a lot of people say, well, I couldn't get a local job. I could, but I had developed my spine problem bouncing up and down in the truck. So it had evaporated. It had made it worse. The problem, one day I was in my sleeper, and we have these things called a Qualcomm, and it beeped and saying that the load was ready for me. So I was in my sleeper, it beeped, it chimed, and basically I had to get up, and I couldn't get up. I couldn't get out. I had to grab the seats to like pull myself up, and I couldn't get myself out of the truck. I mean, I eventually did, to get into the driver's seat to and it wasn't an automatic truck. I had to shift and everything. And do the double clutching and everything. I loved all that. The problem was now I'm in crippling pain, so I was in pain I did it for about another 6 months, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I told my wife, I can't do this job, you know, and thankfully I have a wife that's very understanding. I have a fantastic wife that's understanding and everything. So, and that's where I'm at. So I'm just like you, where I'm trying to make a go of this thing, and it's fun. And I figure, hey, I have junk to work on. I might as well make a video of it. I enjoy the music aspect. I'm a music lover of definitely of heavy metal, 80s music. So anybody that might watch my videos, they'll say they're gonna go on there and go, oh yeah, this guy likes heavy metal. So that's probably it in a nutshell about myself.
There you go. So there now everybody knows a little bit about Bill.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I know it's kind of strange because, you know, every time I do interviews and I'm always asking everybody about them, but then nobody knows. I haven't had the opportunity to say anything about myself. So it's not about me, it's about them.
Yeah. And totally. And I'll reverse that on you.
So
yeah. And the thing of it is too, is like, I know like you asking me, people probably want to skip through that because they probably feel like, you know, they want to get on with the interview, and a lot of people feel they don't want to talk about themselves, you know, because I know I don't.
Right.
I feel very,
you know, I get a lot of great feedback with the style of interviewing I do, because you know, in the community that we're in, the paranormal community, it's very close knit, and everybody loves it when they start finding out about the people that they are subscribed to. Yes, they're subscribed to the channel, but they want to know about the person behind the channel.
yeah, I agree.
And
I
so
think
it
that's
makes
a big
it more
deal.
personable.
Yeah, because like for like if you're watching a movie with actors in it, me personally, like I watch the commentary. A lot of people think I'm nuts because like I'll get the DVD or whatever, and I sit and watch the commentary with the actors and the director talking about the scene. And to me, that's getting to know the actor and the director of how they made the movie, how they made the scene. And then sometimes they'll get off on a tangent, not talking about how they filmed something. They'll say like, oh, you know, after the scene, we went out to dinner, and oh yeah, do you remember that? We met up with so-and-so. I love that stuff. And I wish that I could start some sort of thing where like I was known, me, Bill, the guy who sits with those people for commentary to ask questions about movies, because those guys, sometimes they get on stuff that I don't care about. I'd rather ask, how did you guys film this part? Because I want to know how you did, because I would love to be the guy that asks those questions, because sometimes they get on things that, guys, you're getting off track, like in the commentary that I don't care about. Sometimes they're like, oh, do you remember we went to little Gracie's christening? And sometimes that's okay, but sometimes I want to get back to the movie, like how they filmed that explosion or something. You know,
yeah,
like,
you want to get into the meat of the deal there.
Yeah, and you know, but anyways, yes.
Exactly. Like, I enjoy both parts because I want to know about that situation or that scene or that movie or how they did that or this, and
yes, and they do
but
that.
I also want to know about the person who did it. What motivated you to do that movie? How did you, you know?
Yeah, like there's this one I was watching, it was with Kurt Russell, which he's like he's a great, I love him. Yeah, me too. He's like one of my favorite actors. And he was talking about that movie, an early movie he did, like Escape from New York.
Yes.
And he said that it was actually the commentary from Big Trouble in Little China, but he was talking about where he broke his ankle, but it was in Escape from New York. And the director had asked him, so what did you do? He said, oh, I kept running. He said, with a broken ankle. He said, you did? He said, yeah. And he said, because I didn't want to wreck the take.
Right.
And to me, I love that. Like, because, excuse me, next time I watch that movie, I'm going to go, I wonder if that was the part where the scene, he kept running. Because I want to see if he's limping just a bit to see. They probably cut it just in a certain way where that, you know, but I love that. To me, that's what
it shows, the dedication to their craft.
Yeah, and it's like that's what filmmaking's all about, and that's what the behind the scenes part is, man. Like you would never know that unless you listen to like the commentary on the DVD. Yeah, I love that.
Right, like blooper reels. I love the blooper reels.
Oh, me too, man. I love that stuff.
You know, when you see a good movie and you're thinking, how did they film that without everybody cracking up?
Do you know who started that? Hal Needham. Do you know who Hal Needham? You ever heard of Hal Needham?
No.
Remember Smokey and the Bandit?
Yes.
You remember at the end they would start rolling like Sally Fields and Burt Reynolds,
Okay.
and they would at the end when the credits were rolling, here would be the credits would be rolling, but over here in the corner would be a little window of the bloopers going, but over here would be the credits rolling, but it'd be Sally Fields and Burt Reynolds doing their bloopers, right?
Oh, all right.
But like Hal Needham thought of all that, and then they never used to do that before.
Oh
and then
no, you never saw any of that.
Right, and then Cannonball Run came out, and who directed that? Hal Needham. Hal Needham thought of all that stuff with the bloopers and all that stuff.
Yeah, and everybody loves it.
And now, like there was, like Candid Camera was out and stuff before that with like bloopers and like Dick Clark and stuff like that. But Hal Needham started doing that like during the end of at the end of movies and credits.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah,
and it started showing up. And like I just think Hal Needham, who started out as a stunt actor, was just an interesting dude. Yeah. So.
Well, that was genius because everybody loves the bloopers. Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah.
Everybody loves the bloopers.
My coffee's getting cold.
Excuse me.
This cup is so big. See, this is I don't know if it'd be considered physics, but this cup is so big that the heat is escaping faster, you know.
Oh, okay.
Carbs and coffee, you know.
We'll go with that. Well, I don't have any carbs, but I have the coffee.
Yeah. I'll have to text my wife to give me a warm up.
Yeah, that doesn't work around here. If I want to warm up, I'm gonna have to go get it myself.
Aw.
George isn't around.
Oh, where is he? Is he working?
I think he went to the store.
Oh, gotcha.
I think he went to the store.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah. He goes, "Oh, you doing a show?" And I go, "Well, no, we're recording the podcast." I said, "So I could put it out later on." I said, "So we got to get it done."
He said, "I'm out of here then."
I'm out of here. That's right. Makes it more quieter, whatever.
Yeah, good.
Okay, we talked about channels. I mean, most people know about my channel. It's it's paranormal. Pretty much right at the moment, just interviews with other investigators. But yeah, okay. Background is I am an investigator, but I'm also much more that I usually don't share with everybody. I just tell everybody I'm a Gemini, and then you guys can figure it out. Geminis never have the same face every day. So you never know what to expect or what we're going to come up with. Like you, same thing, dental laboratory for 30 years. I think that's what destroyed us as far as our physical health. Right?
I think so too.
And
that's how we got the hunchback.
Yeah. Include, technically we're artists. But that wasn't the only art that I ever created as far as in the dental laboratory. Painting and handmade crafts and jewelry and leather products. And I've been through all of that stuff. Excuse me. Also, let's see, what else can I say? Music lover as well. I do a lot of singing, but it's not professionally.
Yeah, I forgot to I didn't know that about you. That's something I found out just not too long ago.
Not too many people do know that about me. Only a few know that I sing. And of course, now that I'm older, I really don't. I don't care who knows. It is what it is. And as far as that, and actually, I haven't sang in a while because remember I had laryngitis for a while, so I had to wait for that to heal, like for weeks.
Yeah,
it's still not back to normal, so I don't know if I got any damage from the laryngitis. But it's a lot better than it was. And so, yeah, I do that. And gee, what else? I mean, I loved the adventure of the paranormal. And I really enjoy cemeteries because I believe that they're full of history and that's something that shouldn't be forgotten. Just because people are laid to rest there, I don't think we need to forget that they're a part of history. And a lot of them, it's important history.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a project now with that. With the local cemetery, which is actually called an outdoor museum. That's what they refer to, because there's so many important people buried there and history. And that's the problem with the editing, Bill. I can't get that. I got to get that editing to work so I can put it together.
Can you Do you care to you want to touch base a little bit on that, or you want to wait?
Well, we could, yeah, because like
Yeah.
I said, I'm trying to figure out that program. Figured out something the other night, but the dog got in the way and driving me crazy, and so I had to put it down for a while. But like, I want to start putting it together to get the
Well,
video out so people can see
yeah.
of all the stuff that I've found and the photographs that I've taken, and I still have a video I want to do.
Do you want
I'll
to
get
keep
it
the location on the QT for now?
just for now until
Yep.
I start putting stuff out, and then everybody can see. I mean, I
Gotcha.
put little tidbits out there and
Yep.
shorts as far as photos go.
Yep.
But yeah, I just wanted to kind of get it all together and then reveal it and go from there.
Yeah, it's gonna be so awesome.
It's pretty neat, and I'm finding out such great stuff about the people that are in there, and
Even
so
more
just
so than you thought, right?
than I
Like,
thought.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
exactly. Like I said, I discovered a few things like spot resting places for people that were Revolutionary War involvement. So that was with George Washington and all of that, and they're here in this cemetery, which blows your mind.
Yeah, that's
'Cause you're
pretty
thinking,
neat.
how did they end up here?
That's what's cool about being on the East Coast. We're older than
Yeah.
the West Coast, which
Yeah.
is pretty neat too.
So there's just all kinds of history just floating around out there, and I think we need to get it out and let people know that this is what's this, and because a lot of people overlook that, especially the city that I live close to. And thinking, oh, how did they end up here? Because my husband says the same thing. I says, well, if you remember a long time ago, the Erie Canal went through here.
Right.
So this was a manufacturing mecca, this area.
Yeah,
Everything coming on the
textiles.
canal.
Yep.
And it was all of those factories that are built down there are still existing. And that's where they would unload all of their cargo at that time.
We were like number one for like textiles, which and like number one for like denim.
Yeah, for
Like
a lot of
like on
things.
Mohawk Street and stuff like down there and Broad Street, all those
Yeah.
old factories were like all textiles and stuff like
Yep.
that. Yeah, it's pretty
So and it's
interesting.
amazing that the buildings are still standing.
I
Some of
know.
them are still in use.
Yep. Yep.
So that's really just wild. And it, like I said, that where there was the road now, it was a waterway, and a lot of people don't realize that. So there's just steeps of history that people need to just realize that's here.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
All right, so that's pretty much the gist. I don't know if anybody has any like specific questions. I guess they can ask, but
Yeah, they could put it in the comments actually, and we'll be happy to answer too.
and then just answer what we can answer, and then and go from there. As far, what'd you have for dinner, Bill?
What do we have? I had chicken, beans, and then I had some vanilla ice cream. I'm not gonna lie, I had some vanilla ice cream after that.
All right. Nice.
Oh, and pasta salad. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I like a
not
good
in that
pasta.
order. Not in that order.
I don't know if I should say what I had because your wife and your children are going to be upset.
Oh, I'm. You know what? I know. I already know the answer. Yeah, I already know the answer, Laura.
And it was good.
Yeah. Don't you? Do you know when so the other day when you came over, she goes, she didn't happen to mention anything about maybe making the grape leaves, did she? I go, no. I go, I'm not gonna do that to her. She goes, oh, okay.
Well, I told her when I was there the other day, when she did my hair. Thank you, Michelle. I love your
Yeah.
hair. And then I says, next time I come over, I'm going to bring all the stuff over.
Okay, cool.
And then we're just going to do it right there so they can learn how to do it and then make it anytime they want.
You should see that bush. I don't know. I mean, there's a billion of those grape leaves.
Oh, it'll just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, it's crazy. It's unbelievable how big that is.
So it's
And
fantastic. I have two.
Do you behind your house? Like
One
your
on the
backyard?
side, fence, and then one on the back fence.
And then I was looking too, and I'm like, so let me ask you too, like the smaller, like some were like the size of like a maple leaf.
Okay.
Is it, you want the bigger ones, right?
Well, medium size and then some big. Actually, this is what I should have done the other day when I was there. Showed her what to pick, what not to pick. Usually when they're close to certain trees in the state, they might crossbreed. So you don't want to pick those.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to do a tutorial so they'll know
It-
what's what.
So
Uh,
this hedge, it's like 30 feet wide of
Right.
grape leaves. It's huge. And it's like this past year, it's just gotten bigger. I was like,
It'll get bigger every year.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like unbelievable.
And it cracks me up when people say, "Well, we don't have those around our house." And I go, "If you live anywhere where there's bushes, you got them.
Yeah,
You just
I
don't
never
know what they look like."
right. I never would have thought that you could
Yeah.
eat these things.
Oh yeah. So I always have a fit when the neighbor's got something growing in their yard and I'm pulling it off of the vine. I'm saying, you're cross-contaminating my food source. I said,
Yeah, I never
knock
knew
it
that.
off. Knock it off.
Like I
And
said,
then
like
they go, "Oh, okay, we know what they are." Yeah, don't screw around with my vine, man.
there's some really like beautiful ones on there, like really healthy looking
yeah.
ones, and yeah.
And that's like I said, now with the weather there the way it is, the beetles are starting to come out. They love them. Spiders love them.
Ew. Yeah.
So you got to watch out for, like spider sacks because they'll lay their eggs on the underside. I
Yeah.
told Michelle what to look for.
Okay.
You just don't pick those, or you pick them off and throw them on the ground.
Yeah.
Because they just love to eat them right up. So you got to beat the bugs to get to the grape leaves.
Okay.
Otherwise, you go without. And
Ugh.
like it's the Japanese beetles tear them up bad.
Right.
And we're starting to get those now.
She had asked if there was like anything you could spray on them, and I was like, I don't probably think so.
I wouldn't, because you got to remember you're going to eat them.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like a pesticide, like
Unless you could find something that's non-toxic and food safe. I
wonder if like lemon juice, like if you sprayed like a spritz of lemon on it or something.
Don't know, because the acidity I think might damage the leaves.
It'd probably kill the leaf. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that would be something we'd have to research, or some natural pesticide that you could use on, because you're going to eat them. So I just leave it to nature, because you're going to eat it.
I'll have her do it because she's going to eat them, not me.
Right.
I'll have one.
Right.
I'll have one and try it and go.
Well, we're going to strap you down and make you eat a whole plate full.
No, I think I could eat like 2 or 3, and then I go, okay, I'm good.
Right.
Unless she could make make a couple like without like the lemon in it, infused in it or something.
You can
Because
just
then it
boil
would
them in water, but then it's kind of bland. You'd have to add something else like garlic and
Yeah, that would be fine, because then it would taste
onion or
almost like
something.
because then it would almost taste like a like stuffed cabbage or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I love stuffed cabbage.
You could do whatever you want. So yeah, you could do it with some and some without, and then
Or
you can
leave the-
season them the way you want.
Or leave the spiders on them.
A little bit of protein, the extra protein. That's good. So
Yeah. See, look listen, when you're live, you talk about food, and on the podcast, you talk
that's
about
right.
food.
Well, you got to throw a little bit of food talk in there.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a little bit of food talk, and it's just the way. Actually, it seems to do better than what you want to talk about.
Yeah, no kidding, man. The chat side just lights right up with the food.
They
But
blow
that's
up with all
human
the food chat, and you're talking about something like way off.
Maybe I should just go back to, because it was called Carbs and Coffee.
Right.
And nobody knew what the heck that was. They thought like I was hitting like hamburger stands and like getting like a cup of coffee and like loaves of bread.
You should get a video of you going around town, just stopping at all these places and eating.
Yeah, so it's so then I was like, all right, I'm gonna change it to Carburetors and Coffee, so people at least get an idea that it has something to do with automotive. So maybe I should just go back to Carbs and Coffee and just do a cooking channel where I don't know what I'm doing and just be a crash course into stuff.
You'd be surprised,
because it would work.
I found it interesting that we can't be the only ones that used to call them carbs.
Well, here's the thing. Everything's fuel injected now, and nobody there's like a dying breed of people, just like what we did in the dental field. Were dinosaurs. So like when somebody says a carb, they're like, what is that? Like,
right.
I know a lot of people like that don't know how to rebuild carburetors. They have no clue what they're doing.
Because they never had to deal with any of that.
Yeah, and they have had to deal with it, but they'd rather not. And to me, it's very simple, but they'll open it up and go, "Oh my gosh, I'm not touching this." And it's like,
right.
Dude, just sit down. Like, it's not hard. Just like put it back together the way it can. Clean it. It's not hard. And it's, I don't know. To me, it's not. I have like a mechanical mind, and some people just give up.
Right.
And
Well, to you, that's second nature, and like you said, to everybody else, foreign.
and that's the dental field part too.
Yeah.
But I've always been that way. Like even as a little kid, like I played with Legos, those erector sets and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and and like action figures I played with, like you know, like you were always like manipulating things. So like I built my own BMX bikes and freestyle bikes and stuff like that, and so but it just, so when people didn't know what like carbs were, I suppose the coffee thing at the end maybe misled people. If it was carbs and cars, I don't know, maybe still would mislead people. Like, what is he
Yeah,
doing?
I don't know.
Cupcakes and
I just
cars?
think that our generation just knew what
Yeah.
that abbreviation was.
Yeah. So, you know, I was like, all right, you know what? Because I remember sitting at the table like about 6 months ago, talking to my wife and my kids going, so I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I want to know what you guys think of these names. Carburetors and Coffee or Carbs and Coffee. And I was like, I like the way Carbs and Coffee sounds better. And they're like, yeah,
Right.
okay. And I remember Carburetors, that was one of them. So then I was just like, you know what? I've only got a small amount of subs right now. May as well just change it. So that's why I changed it, because
Right.
being in your chat, people were like, oh, that's what it means.
Right. I seen that. They're saying, "What? Okay, now we get it."
Yeah, who was on that jumped into your chat? It was it wasn't Wisdom, it was the other dude.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, okay, Carberry. Oh, he like had no clue.
Right.
So
See,
I was
because they're
like,
all younger than us. So that's
yeah. So I was like, you know what? I gotta like it might be something I like, but sometimes you gotta go with the flow.
Right.
And that's what like with Henry Ford, for example. His son wanted to change a lot of things, like Edsel. He wanted to change a lot of things, and his father fought him on a lot of things. You know, that's why the Model T stayed around, the Model T, for as long as it did and didn't change. Like there was only one color you could get. If you can get it in any color you wanted, as long as it was black.
Right.
That was what Henry Ford said. And it stayed around for as long as it did, like 4 million of them were built, or I forgot how many it was. But anyways, but a lot of people criticized Henry Ford because they didn't want to roll with the times, even though he was very intuitive and everything. But he also was his own worst enemy because he didn't grow with the times, and he was stuck in his own thing. So I was thinking, what do I want to like stick to my guns and like keep it carbs and coffee, even though like that to me, when people like in the chat were like, oh, that's what it means.
Right.
That to me was like, I'm not gonna sit here and like be like, I'm gonna be. I was like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna change it that way.
Change it up.
At least people know, I hope, what a carburetor is. Maybe
Right.
someday I'll have to change that to fuel injection in coffee. Who knows?
Oh, well, yeah, you got to roll with those times, Bill.
Yeah,
roll
but
with those times.
I figured, you know what? If I had like, well, I wouldn't worry about it if I had 2 million subscribers and it was carbs and coffee. I think people would have gotten it by then. But I was like, you know what? I'm at a small enough number where it's not going to hurt. And I think now it's growing on me. Carburetors and Coffee. It's growing on me. This
yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. At first it was like, oh man, carburetors and it's like, oh, it takes so long to say it. I mean, I can't
You
even
gotta let it roll off the tongue.
Yeah, I can't even speak as it is, but yeah, so now it's fine. So
well, I went through a similar thing like with mine. I changed it up.
Yeah, because it was raw, or
it was just raw paranormal, and there was a lot of raw paranormals out there, or referencing to people just doing raw videos. And
okay,
I'm thinking, and you know, it has a meaning to it, the raw word. But then I thought to myself, no, I got to change this up because people couldn't find me.
Yeah.
Everything else was popping up, but my stuff. So when I switched it to the raw side, I think actually, yeah, I like the way that sounds better. And now it's everybody can find me, just like that.
You know, you just reminded me of something actually. When I was telling somebody, a friend of mine at his workshop, he's got a really big shop in Oneida. I said, his wife says, "What's the name of your channel?" And I said, "Carbs and Coffee." This was months ago. She goes, "Oh, Cars and Coffee? Isn't that like those are called cruise-ins, like car groups? They'll go to places and meet up. It's called the Cars and Coffee." And I go, "No, Carbs and Coffee. CR." She's like, "Oh, I thought you said Cars and Coffee. That's like what they do." And I was like, "Oh man, I didn't think of that. It sounds like Cars and Coffee."
Right.
So not like it's kind of like it was kind of meant to happen a little bit because Carburetors and Coffee, you can't mess that one up. So
right. And yeah, I just make it easier for people to find you, because if they type in, the carbs, it might, search engine will think, oh, he wants cars and coffee.
And you know what, Laura, too, people, even if like I would tell people carbs and coffee, when you type that in on YouTube, cooking shows pop up. Yeah, I would have to tell people, listen, if you're going to look for me, type in Carbs and Coffee Porsche 944. Then you'll find my videos.
Right. Like, see, you don't want to have it that difficult.
Right. So I haven't tried it this way yet, but like now I have even tried to, to tell people.
I know, because I've typed it in, it pops right up.
So yeah, but anyway, yeah, because the algorithm has you figured out, but other people, like, I'd have to like tell them, just make sure you put like 944 in there, because that video will at least pop up. But if I would do it, I'd be like, no, that's not it. That's not me. No, that guy's making a cake. No, that's not me. So
well, you could do both, just bake on the engine while you're repairing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do some beans or something. Yeah.
You can heat up your lunch while doing the repairs, and then when you're done, it is ready to serve.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, isn't there I think there is some channels that do that. Some guys do that.
There actually is a
is it like if they get done driving and or while they're driving, their food is wrapped in foil on the engine?
Yeah, there's actually a device that you could put beans into a can.
Really?
And it goes against your muffler.
Right.
And the heat from your muffler cooks the beans like in about 10 minutes. Well, it doesn't cook it, but it makes them hot for you.
It warms them up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm surprised, because
it's for like camping and stuff.
I rather cook on wood fire.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, what? But I guess it's for like if you're driving and like you're not stopping.
Right.
But I'm like,
the beans are almost done. I can smell them.
Yeah. And I'm like, I think I'd rather just pop the can open and just eat them cold. I think I would rather do that.
Make sandwiches, put them in a cooler.
But I guess if you're out in the cold, it's for if you're like snowmobiling and stuff, like they'd be frozen.
Right.
And you can't eat them. It's a weird thing. Like I've only seen YouTubers using it as like a gag, like, yeah, I guess it does work, like, to test and see if it works.
But at least now the possibilities there. So if you ever need that in an emergency.
Yeah, totally.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I have ever heard anybody do was one time while he was at work, somebody stuck I believe it was Limburger cheese or something like that in somewhere on the engine. And of course, by the time he's driving home, heats it up, and it stunk up the whole car.
Yeah, probably put
it smelled like for days.
Oh, that's funny.
They must have been so bad. I mean, this stuff smells bad in the store. I can't imagine heating it up.
Yeah,
and it goes through your whole, the whole vehicle.
I think, I don't know if it's Limburger, but have you ever been to Delmonico's?
No, I always say I'm going to go, and I never make it there.
Oh my gosh, Laura, I've never had a bad meal there. But they have this salad. It's a salad for two. They say it's for, but it's huge. It is so good. And there's this cheese on it. And I said to Michelle, I go, "Is this Limburger?" And she's like, "I think it is." I got to tell you, if it's not Limburger, it's very strong. It's a very strong cheddar, maybe, but
sure it's not like a goat cheese.
I don't think it's like feta. No, I don't think it's a goat cheese. Wait, feta is sheep cheese, right?
Well, it's a goat sheep. Yeah, feta.
I don't think it's feta. No, I think it's like Limburger. But I got to tell you, with the Italian dressing that they have, with like a bite of salad, and I'm like, this is good.
Well, they say if you can get past the smell, it's very delicious.
Yeah, it is.
But I don't want it.
I'm telling you, if you have that salad, Do you like hard boiled eggs?
Yes.
They put a whole hard boiled egg on it. It's like diced, and like then they like take the here we are talking about food again.
Yeah.
They take like the capicola,
Right.
and then they fold it like they fold napkins and
Right.
like swans and stuff. They don't do that, but I don't know. They fold
They make it like a rose.
they make it look like a work of art, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't even want to eat this. You know what? I think I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you in private because I don't have it now. But like, it was so good. But that place, you just never have a bad meal there. It's so good.
It's always packed. I can never get in there.
It's not like
Every time we go there, you can't even get in the parking lot.
Okay, well I always go earlier. Like I always go like around 4:30. We don't go late. Like
Right.
we're like old fogies. Like but like we never go like late, and we always get in. We always
no, we haven't been in. George has eaten there, but I haven't. So
that's
okay. It's not a big deal to me because I'm a big restaurant person anyway. So
yeah, it's you should get
unless
there.
Unless it's empty, then I'm all right.
Oh, and save room. You gotta save room for dessert and get a cannoli. Let me see, how big's my camera? All right, Laura, it's huge. The cannoli is awesome. It's all homemade there, and the cannoli is awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wicked good.
Yeah, I like a good cannoli.
It is good. It's the best.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yep, that's like one of my favorite desserts is a cannoli.
Definitely,
people that aren't from around here probably don't even know what a cannoli is because that's an East Coast a sort of Utica thing. People are like, what is a cannoli?
Yeah, actually you're right. Yeah, because a lot of things were made here, so they don't know.
So is a pasty. People have no idea. They're like, ew, that sounds disgusting. Like people don't know what a pasty is.
Yeah, you don't know what you're missing.
I know.
I make my own pasties.
You do?
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have to make you guys some.
Oh my gosh. I love pasties.
Yeah, my grandmother's when she passed away, I got her pasty tins. And her recipe.
So good. I love those things. Yeah.
You have to make chocolate and vanilla.
I was just gonna ask.
My father likes vanilla and George likes chocolate.
See, I like the vanilla.
Oh, see.
I mean, I like both, but I'm a vanilla. I'm a plain. I like if I'm gonna have ice cream, I'm gonna have vanilla. It's weird, but yeah.
And then I have someone else in the family likes lemon, so you got to make all different ones.
I like the lemon too. Yeah.
So lemon's not bad. So it's
but
everybody loves it. I haven't made those in a while, so you have to pull the tins out. And
you poor thing. Everybody's always requesting.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's
stuff.
Cook food. Maybe I should do a cooking show.
I know. I was gonna say, welcome to Raw Side Paranormal. Today we are making,
ghosts, and we're gonna be making lasagna. Watch it disappear.
That would be hilarious. Like maybe on Halloween or something. Maybe you should do a cooking show and get like people dressed up, like you dressed up, but like get people to like help assist you who are also dressed up, like assistants, like to help you cook. That'd be hilarious. Right. Like ghosts, like, be funny. Like you're like dressed like Elvira, and then like everybody else around you is just in ghost sheets. They're just ghouls. They're nameless people. And they're just like
handing the bowls as they're floating through.
That'd be just hilarious, man. Like now I'm gonna have a ghost ghoul one. Like they're nobody's like it's not George, nobody. Like whatever. That'd be so funny, man. Just like have a Halloween cooking show.
Yeah, I thought about it. I don't know. We'll see. You actually could have the kids help out. That would be fun.
What would you cook? Let me see.
I don't know. Actually, I thought about doing that when I was making cakes. My sister and I, we did a Hellraiser cake for my niece. I did a cake shaped as a pumpkin for my mother a couple of years back with all these little ghosts and stuff and bats around and little pumpkin patch thing. It was cute.
By the way, too, I wanted to say now that the StreamYard thing, I like the Raw Side Paranormal.
Oh, yep. Because
you have to do
I upped it.
Yep.
So I was able to add my own background. So that's
it looks good.
Fantastic.
I like.
Speaking about that, you're new to the paranormal community, and so you don't
the community. Really I am definitely. Yep.
The changes that have been going on, and I just wanted to address some of those changes that are going on, and actually kind of concerned. And I think a lot of people are concerned about it. I don't know if you've noticed for the short period that you've been in. more people are going towards the skeptical side instead of, belief in the paranormal. I think it's because of the way things are being done and being handled,
Yeah.
and the fakers out there. The fakers are making it really hard on the real investigators. And just today, I was watching a thing from Fantastique. She had posted something, and it had reference to the debunkers and the fakers. And I think our debunkers are doing a fantastic job. I just think we need to step it up a notch, because I
Yeah.
think our real investigators are getting bashed, and these people are making money off of the public and their subs, and this stuff's not real.
Can you
And
hear me okay, Laura, still?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I just think it's affecting people in the community, and even outside of the community, the ones who are watching and taking notice. Because you'll see the fakers. We've all done it. We've watched fakers, and you're like, oh my, how did they get that? Or oh wow, or this or that. And then when you find out it's fake, we know the difference. But I mean, they're diehard fans are like, oh no, they would never do that. Oh, come on, it's right there before your eyes. But it's because I've talked to a lot of people, and they're getting to be where it's oh, I'm not even gonna bother watching this stuff anymore. And that's either side. I'm getting to believe there's just no such thing. It's all bullshit. And I'm pretty much done with it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on what you have experienced so far?
Uh, so I never knew that this community existed, to be honest with you. Like what you're
Right.
doing, and like the show you went on with uh the the girl from Australia,
Karen.
Karen. Yeah, Karen from Australia and stuff. So when, like I said, I think I mentioned to you before, like when uh you had, so Raw Side Paranormal, uh there's hidden meaning in your name.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, to me, in my head, so I'm a thinker. I'm always looking sideways, like side eye guy. So when you guys were like in chat and you're talking about side eye guy. When I first started watching you, I watched your first show and you guys are like, oh, like side eye guy, and I'm like, who's side eye guy? What is that?
Right.
I didn't know what you guys were talking about. And I had no clue what your show was about, what you were going to be about and stuff like that. I honestly thought that your show was going to be, oh, did you see the picture I took with all the orbs in it? Did you see that? And I thought, and I'm going to be side eye guy
And
in my
tear
own
it up.
right. Yeah, I thought I'm going to be behind the scenes of Laura's new stupid channel
All
where
right.
she's showing all of her dumb orbs floating around, where I'm going, "Oh my god, doesn't she know that's like dust?" You know,
Right.
I had no clue that this existed with you guys doing this debunking stuff.
Right.
I was like, reason why you and I have become so close, I think, is because I, like I said, I never knew you had this side of you that you're interested in it, but 99% of you is like, no, wait a minute. And then all these other people, like you said, I think your question is, what's my thoughts of, yeah, there's, so all this junk that's out there, these people that are putting this garbage out there with trying to get paid, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think so. A movie will come out. You had all these movies in the 80s and stuff, like Poltergeist and everything like that, which were incredible and awesome. And then the 90s came along, and then something like this thing called the internet came along. And then it was, hey, what if we like started hooking fishing line to something and making it look like it's floating or something like that? And then there's these things called, hey, we could start making money off of these things called advertisers. it started, I think it started little, and then people started realizing, hey, if we can start making people like that traffic coming in
Right.
and start fooling people, I think that's where it all came along, and these ideas came along, and um it
I
became
could have made a fortune back
Hollywood.
then.
What's that?
I could have made a fortune back then because every time we would set up our Halloween decorations, I used to do that kind of stuff. Hook up all of the, the spooky spookies with the fishing line and all of that stuff. So who knew?
We did too. Like when I remember when we were kids, growing up. There's my brother and my sister. We would have a Halloween contest in our bedrooms. Okay, my brother would do a haunted house, haunted bedroom. I'd do a haunted bedroom. My sister would do a haunted bedroom, and we would hit record on our recorder, and we would make stupid like fake ghost noises and like ooh, and then like yeah,
Ooh.
stuff like that. So like I remember, and we would do like fishing line. I remember we would do like a lollipop with like, and we would like do like we'd hide under the bed and like have fishing lines like hooked and try to like, okay, you guys can come in now. I'm like, it's ready. And like they'd come in and we'd tell them, all right, you got to shut the door behind you so it's dark. And we'd hit play all the stupid noises that we recorded ourselves
Right.
with like some stupid backing, track or whatever. And we would vote on whose was the scariest, and I mean, so like I think I really like how this debunking thing is going.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like so interested in it now. And like, I don't want to say I'm involved, but I never knew it existed. Like I like what you're doing, and I like what these other guys are doing. And I'm, like you said, I am new to it. I'm not new to like, being skeptical on it. Like a lot of these things I look at and I go, oh my gosh, like that show, The Haunting, I think it's called. That's been going on like since the early 2000s, like the mid 2000s and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that's a great show, but they have to do things like if they have like the person that it's happened to sit down and they're telling the story, and then they show clips of actors acting it out.
Right. Right.
And then the computer animation of things, and like the cloud, like in a cloud, it was in the corner, and then the cloud forms and stuff. And man, the cinematography is wonderful. It's really, really good.
Right.
And I think it's a Canadian show. I'm not sure, but anyways, it's really, really good. And when you watch that, you go, oh my God, that must have been so scary for them.
Right. Yeah. I've seen that stuff online. Yeah.
But if I'll bet you when those people watch that after the episode airs and stuff, they probably go, it didn't happen like that.
Right. Well, you figure because Hollywood, anything that has to do with television or stuff like that, and Hollywood's involved, there's going to be an amount of fakery to it because they have to bring in the ratings.
There was this, yeah, which is fine because they have to take up, you figure it's an hour segment and stuff,
right?
Which is neither here nor there. They can fill that. But there was this one I was watching just a couple days ago where the woman said she was making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for her grandson, and then the grandson, they didn't interview the grandson. He said they said he was only like 4 years old when this happened, but it was a World War II soldier, that Nazi soldier that was supposedly haunting the place. And then they showed the World War II soldier. The little grandson was playing with you remember the little army soldiers in a plastic bag?
Yeah, the little green army men.
Yeah, exactly, army men. Like they showed him playing
this one.
Yeah, remember they showed him like the Nazi soldier pointing at him and making him disappear and melt.
Right.
And then the little kid was going, hey, don't do that. Those are the good guys. And then the Nazi soldier like goes like that at him.
Right, right.
Well, none of that. They never said that the little kid said that happened. Like they never said. And my grandson said that the Nazi soldier pointed at the army soldiers and they melted and disappeared. Like he never said any of that.
Right.
Like they just showed the Nazi soldier walking up and speaking in German,
right,
to the little boy. And like, that was all like acted out which was fantastic. Like,
Right. Well,
it
they
was like
embellished on it to make it
exactly
watch-worthy.
right. They embellished on it, which was wonderful. I tell you, it made it like a great movie. Like, to me, it was like, oh, this is really interesting. But
Right.
I'll bet you those people, if this really happened, those people, when they like, hey, our episode's going to air tonight, let's watch it. They sat down, watched it, and went, that didn't happen.
Yeah, right.
That's not what happened. Hey, honey. And now, like, that didn't happen.
Right.
So, like, I think. Did you see the one where they had the I think I told you about the one with the doll. They ordered the doll from the haunted doll. Or no, they found. Oh my gosh, they found the doll in an antique store that was locked in a box. Lori, you gotta watch that one.
I might have seen it.
And they named it. What'd they name it? Norman. They named it Norman because they felt he wasn't normal. So a good name was Norman.
Right.
Well, they have like real video of it turning its head.
Okay.
And moving. You got to see the way that it's precariously put. It's in the bed. You could tell that the way that it's in the bed, like supposedly they put at the bottom of the screen actual footage.
Uh-huh.
Who sets a doll up like this in their bed? Nobody.
Right.
Nobody. You got to ask yourself these questions. You go, okay, first of all, if you're going to set a doll up in your bed, you don't squish it down in between two pillows.
The pillows, right. You just lay it on there.
So somebody's underneath the bed, okay? Somebody has to be underneath there with a pole up through there with
manipulating the
stick
doll.
going like this for the head to go like this.
Yeah.
Because it goes like this really slow. Okay? but then they show that's the actual footage, but then they show the reenactment. And the doll like floats across the room and goes on top of the computer. Oh, and there's another thing. Why they have security cameras, okay? They show the dad. The dad is like on a computer, just like me, like this, right? And he's got, it was like the uncle or something, unless he's a freak. He's got a bed behind him.
Right.
With his two like niece and nephew on the bed behind. He's like doing computer work like this, right? It's just so weird. And he's got a video camera, like a fisheye video camera. Like it's got him in the vision and his kid,
and the
kid on the bed, right? Why? First of all,
exactly.
And then the doll squished back there like this, right?
Yeah.
It's all like a big setup, right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Actual footage, right? Now, the little kids, I bet, are not in on it. He's got it rigged so that freaks the little kids out.
All right.
So he's like this, and he's like, "What happened?" Now, either it's motorized, but I tell you, them kids know about it, or there's somebody under the bed with a pole. You got to watch it. But then they reenact it, right? And then they show it float on top of the counter in front of the guy, and he's like, "Whoa!" And he freaks out. And I'm like, now let's pretend that this all really did happen.
Right.
Let's pretend that in the actual footage, pretend it was real. Let's just pretend. Hey, honey, our episode's going to air tonight. Let's watch it. Now they're sitting down, and then the reenactment comes, and the doll floats. Is he going to go, that didn't happen? Because they just showed the actual footage. All the doll did was move in the bed. It didn't go floating across.
Floating. So
they just
again,
showed it.
Embellishing, yep.
They just showed the actual footage, but yet in the reenactment, they just showed it like floating. It's like, guys, if you're gonna like lie,
right,
just do the actual footage reenactment. Don't like do what you just did.
Yeah, that's what we're getting involved with, like when we're talking about with the fakers on YouTube, who are making tons and tons of money off of these poor people who actually believe everything they're putting out there. And then they're getting angry at the debunkers because the debunkers are calling them out and they're busting them. I mean, you can, once the debunker, points it out and they're still in denial. I'm thinking, what are you going to get hit with a brick? It's right there before your eyes, and they just refuse to see it.
In case you're Laura, in case you want to know, it's called A Haunting, Norman the Doll. It's When the Lights Go Out. It is season 10, episode 9. Oh, and by
Okay.
the way, if it's the same one, hopefully I'm not getting confused. This little girl, she is terrorized by Norman, by the way, and they are like, they can't figure out. Oh, she's like, Mom, Dad, I'm so sick of this doll, and she's crying and everything, right? And they're like, oh, honey, you're out of your mind. No, he's just a doll and stuff. So they send this daughter away. I might be getting 2 episodes mixed up, but anyways, this one, they send the daughter away to her aunt's house, and they keep the doll to figure out what's going on.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yep, okay.
Yes, they keep the doll,
Kept the doll,
but they
and got
sent
rid of the
their
kid.
daughter away.
Sorry,
It was,
you got to keep the doll.
oh, and then the beginning of the episode too, they like I said, they come up, they're in an antique shop. It's just the goofiest setup. It's comical. They're in the antique shop, right? And they come across this box, like almost like a treasure box, right? And he's like trying to get it open. He's like, and the wife, it's kind of really bad acting. Usually it's not bad acting, but in this one it was. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, what? You don't want to know what's in it? No, like, who cares what's like, dude, it's so what? Like, don't you want to go like get an ice cream cone? Like, who cares? So like, he's like, he pulls out a pocket knife and he's like trying to get in it, and he's like, who cares what's in it? And just so happens to be Norman the doll, the evil doll is in it, right? Ooh. So like, he goes like with the box, and he goes over to the antique dealer, which, by the way, the old lady that's at the cash register, she couldn't be more creepy. Of course, it has to be like in a dingy lit, creepy antique shop, right? And she goes, he like puts it on, he was like, we'd like to buy this. She's like, oh, you'd like to buy that, would you? And he's like, oh yeah. She's like, there's a really sad story about this doll. Very, very sad, I might add. You know, it's just, from the get-go, that episode is just so cringeworthy. Yeah, Norman the doll.
Your impersonation was great.
TV, it's 2019 actually, so it's not that old. I do have to say it. A Haunting. That's a great show. I do. I see a lot of them. So
yeah,
I do really like that show. I think it's great. It's just,
but it's entertainment though,
and that's what I take it as. I'll watch it like when I'm like out in the shop at night, and it's that the normal one is comical. I sat and laughed. I thought I was watching a comedy. People would be like, "Oh, what comedy are you watching?" The Haunting.
I'm making fun of it. I mean, not for nothing. All of us on YouTube it is all entertainment, no matter what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's entertainment for people, but at least in I want to say the real investigation side, real investigators who are doing it for answers to find truth. Yes, it's entertainment, but it's also education and technical and truth. Where, they could have just played off like the rest of the bozos that are out there and just like, I always call this the season of the demon, the year of the demon, 2024, because every time you turn around, somebody is being attacked by a demon. Yeah, I was scratched, or I was bit, or, believe me, if a demon attacked you, you'd know it, and you wouldn't be, so nonchalant about it.
Yeah, I know. That's, hey.
I'm going to run from the demon, but, only just long enough so you could see it. And then we're going to go back in there and screw around with them again.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I don't know about you, but if it was me and I was a demon type thing, I would never go back.
Yeah.
Don't want anything to do with that. You're pushing your luck. But again, it's just, I've noticed the changes that people are starting to get, I think, irritated on both sides, because a lot of investigators are doing the same investigations, same places. And I get that, because that's on pretty much most investigators their bucket lists. They want to do all the famous places. But I have made comments before. I think it's time that we start doing places that people don't know about.
Yeah, I
Start
agree.
start spreading out a little bit more. I think when I did the show with Jeff, exploring Harley. I mean, there's tons and tons of places in Canada. Go out there, start bringing that into us. Let's see some new, fresh buildings, fresh investigations. We need to change it up a bit because I think that we're getting more people coming in saying, you know what? I'm just tired of watching the same old thing over and over. It's just a different group,
Yeah,
you know, and it's
like Weeping Willow. Like she's up in Canada. That'd be cool. I'd like to see her like get out up in there and
do
do like
more,
stuff
yeah,
with her.
Canadian spots. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Laura, can you see
Because
that? What I shared by any chance?
yeah, down at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. So like that, for example,
Let's
we've all seen that one.
Oh yeah,
We've all heard about that one.
right. And they still play on that stupid photograph.
See, I have seen that a ton of times, but never knew the story behind that. But I've always looked at it and went, that doesn't look real.
Oh, the same one with the photograph there. What is it?
Oh.
Two men and a baby? Or is that what it was?
Oh, yeah, there was a cardboard cutout.
Yeah, in the curtains.
Yeah.
For the
Yep, there's a
longest
cardboard
time,
cutout.
there's it's a spook of a boy and this and this and this. And I'm thinking, wait, they just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one just didn't look right from day one. And the stories that went around about that were just ridiculous. I heard it was a director's son, and he was hiding in the curtains. And then yeah, some say it was the cutout.
Yeah, and people were like, oh, it was a little boy who got killed in that room.
Yes, that was the story. A little boy that got killed. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything about that.
And then there was another rumor about and actually my sister was like, oh, did you see the guy like in Wizard of Oz like hanging himself? And I'm like, no, that's not true. No, it's I was like, no, it's not. I was like, it's a bird in the background. You ever see that one? Where like,
No,
well,
I never saw that
the
one.
wonderful Wizard of Oz when they finally meet the Scarecrow or whatever,
Right.
and they're like going down in the background. Supposedly there's a guy hanging himself. No, it's actually like a red heron or something, or a crane in the background just stretching. It's not a guy hanging himself.
Oh yeah, I'll look into that one. No, I never seen that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what people are looking for. They're looking for a change. So they don't lose faith in their favorite investigators, but not just that, lose interest. Is what I'm thinking. Because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it from a lot of people. They're just, I don't watch anymore. I don't do this anymore. I might pop in once in a while for a comment or two, but they're just well, it's none of it's real. Or they've just, like I said, oh, I've already seen that place 100 times. I want something different. And I just think it's important that everybody starts to realize we need to change it up, step it up. It's hard to make it real investigating, entertaining for the outside world. But I think that if we start changing up and going to different places places that aren't so famous, oh, I went to Bob's Barn, and this is what happened here. And
I'm of a different mindset. I think I would rather see things that nobody's heard of. Like, so like all right, like, okay, so for example, like, to be honest with you, like the Conjuring and House and all that stuff, like I'll be quite honest with you, like I bypass those videos. I don't watch them. If I see something else, like say if you went up to Star Hill, or even if it's something I never even heard of, Laura, anybody up in Canada, any of those people, I would rather watch those over anything sensationalized, because if it's something I never heard of, I don't know who I was watching, but it was something I never even heard of. And they had these really great drone views. And I don't think anything happened they were just walking around and to see if something would happen.
Right.
And I really liked that video because, first of all, they had a really cool aerial. I really like cinematography and photography.
Right.
So not only was it beautiful, but they did a really good job of editing. I really appreciated that. But I don't know who he was, but it was because the algorithm, I was watching your stuff and I came
Right.
across
Maybe
it.
it was Nocturnal Frequency Radio.
That sounds kind of familiar.
Steve, he does a lot of that drone shots and stuff.
It was a barn. He was
It
out
might
in the
have
middle of
been.
nowhere. It was a barn,
It
and
might have
the
been
barn
him.
was like falling in.
Yeah, that might have been his.
Okay, well, he nothing happened. It was kind of spooky.
He's just showing you, the shots and all
Yeah,
of that, and
and to be honest with you, I like that way more than like any of these other garbage where nothing happens. Like it's all like, oh, we went and like to like the Amityville Horror House, or we went to Salem. Which, by the way, I got to tell you, you ever been to Salem?
no.
I have. Boring. I've been there twice, and I've been
Did you
there.
go to the Witches Museum?
Yeah, I've been there in the
I heard that was pretty lame.
Yeah. Okay, so I've been there in the off season and the on season.
Right.
So there was nowhere to eat in the off season. It was like we had to
because
find
everything's shut down.
Yeah, well, yeah, like you had to find like somewhere, like it was like, okay, can we just at least eat here at this bar?
Right.
So we ate somewhere, and it's pretty lame. I gotta tell you, man.
I heard people said it's not. You're expecting some kind of ta-da, and there isn't one.
Yeah, if I were to like say anybody like that is like say on the West Coast, and they're like, oh, I want to go to Salem. You know what? Go to Gettysburg. If you're gonna come all the way over to the East Coast and like just make a visit to Salem, dude, forget Salem and like and you want to do anything like ghostly stuff.
As far as like the history, though, how is it as far as the history went?
Laura, I mean, okay, so they put some ladies on a cantilever and did the whole witch thing. Like, go to Gettysburg, man. Like,
wow.
Even Getty's people have said so. I mean, the street, like the dirt was filled with blood. I mean, like 600,000 men,
right?
600,000 to almost 1 million, like souls had been lost there. Of all the battles, now if you watch shows, on YouTube about paranormal stuff, a lot of that stuff I do believe about, where people have pulled up and said, hey, thanks for putting on that reenactment over there. That was really neat. What reenactment? What are you talking about? Oh, the soldiers over there where they were like pretending to like, clean the cannon or whatever. That was really cool. Well, there's nobody over there doing that. We didn't plan that. Yeah, they're over there. And then like they go look and then there's nobody there. Like, I personally think, yeah, those people aren't telling lies. Like, I think that stuff does happen. This other crap, I don't believe it. Like,
the same like a Risky Battlefield here locally.
Yeah, so
one
like
of the bloodiest battles during the Revolution.
Yeah,
and local people say that they see apparitions walking across the field.
Yeah, which Risky Battlefield, like people don't even really know about.
Right.
And so with Fort Stanwix either. It's like crazy. Like Fort Stanwix, like if you don't look over your like left shoulder when you're like going through like Rome, like you would never know
You would never know it was there, right?
Yeah, you're like, what is that?
Right.
It's like toothpick, like a bunch of giant toothpicks over there. Like,
I plan on going back to actually to a Risky Battlefield a couple of times to see what I can get. I've got some still shots, but
see, okay, if the still shots are for you, that's fine. This is what I suggest. You know how we were just talking about like Weeping Willow and the other fella that you interviewed
right
up there. So
Jeff.
For you, yeah, for you, go to Risky Battlefield, walk around, do something. If nothing happens, so what? I
Right.
want to see stuff like that. I
Right.
don't care like about these other places where, oh, this place, I keep saying like the Conjuring place or whatever, but like these big places where something supposedly gets super, super haunted, I don't care. I want to see places where like Ursini Battlefield, nobody's ever heard of it. Me and you've heard of it because we live
Right.
here. But like I want to see these places where say like where's the place? Okay, you know in Oriskany where like the airplanes are? That little spot.
That little park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's haunted, but I'm just saying that let's pretend it was. I would like to see like anybody else that does these things where like I heard that that place is haunted, but I'm not going to go there because nobody knows about it. Well, you know what? I want to see those places because
Right.
I don't want this big stuff. I want to see more of that kind of stuff. I want to see
Right. I
more.
think, and that's what I'm getting. I'm hearing that more and more from people. They want to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because all this stuff is watered down now. I want to see there's so much more to this, I think, than that there could be. I think that's the point, you know? So, yeah.
So,
like to see it.
fresher places, newer places, unknown places.
Yeah, and you know what, Laura? I think this, when you say unknown places, I think unknown places could be discovered without somebody even knowing that there's an issue there.
Right.
When I say issue, like go out exploring.
Yep.
So be an
a lot of
explorer.
people used to do that. They would do like urban exploring.
Yeah.
And then they would bring it over into the paranormal field and do investigation while they're there.
That's what I think.
The problem is a lot of those places you got to worry about trespassing.
Well,
getting in trouble.
There's like there's a fine line.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get permission to go in and it's at your own risk, then that's all right. But a lot of people don't want to go through the trouble of asking for permission. They just get in there, and then God forbid something happens, they fall through the floor, or
totally.
they get busted by the police. Of course, around here, all you're going to get is a trespassing charge. It's not like you're going to end up in jail for just being caught in one of those places.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's probably easier. Of course, it's more edgy when you don't have permission. You sneak in, you sneak out, and that is exciting. But I agree. The more just common, like old, actually, the town of Camden, all of those historical homes in Camden would be fantastic to go through because they're all been restored. But there still has to be stories behind all those old homes.
Here's another classic. Sorry about
this. Oh,
ad.
Yeah. She jumped off the bed.
But look at anybody who believes this.
And they do, though, Bill. They do.
She's floating. Come on.
Yeah. No, you could tell by the way that she's going forward and the way her legs were, she jumped.
Now, listen, when you were a kid, didn't you leap like that too?
Yeah.
Me too.
Jump, hold your legs up. Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, man. And then
I remember when I first saw that, I said, oh, come on. She jumped off the bed.
I know. And look at the sibling, too.
I know. Oh, wow. Ooh. No, I know what she's thinking. Oh, you're going to get your ass beat for jumping on the bed.
Yeah, mom and dad said never do. Yeah, look at this one.
You're going to get it for jumping on the bed. Yeah, so you could tell. She was jumping.
Yeah. Stupid.
That's the people eat it up, and that's what's killing the real paranormal groups, because they know that that's BS. But you get other people who have no idea what this is all about and what we do and what goes into what we do, and they take it at face value. Like you're holding up this big rock. Well, this big rock is actually a big diamond. It just needs to be polished up. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. And actually, that's how it correlates to people scamming people on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a scam going around where the scammer will call elderly people and say that their grandchild got into an accident and they're being held on like $5,000 bond because they have injured a person who is pregnant, and the pregnant person is in critical condition, and they're a bondsman and things like that. And the 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 gullibility of these elderly folk. It's the same thing of what I just showed of this girl
Well, a
leaping
lot
into
of
the
people
sky.
that watched what we do are an elderly age bracket. And so, of course, then you get, like this, the fakers is more towards the 20s, and below, because all of the craziness that those guys do, all the screaming and hey, dude, oh, it's this thing,
Yeah, and the
So
money.
they're acting on that same level, and that's bringing in those viewers. And
Yeah, totally.
like I said, but the thing is that if you try to debunk that right then and there in their chat, you get slaughtered.
Yeah,
You will get slaughtered because these people will defend them to the last breath.
And do you think that is because they're doing it themselves?
I think they aspire to do it. Oh, I want to be like these guys. Look what they do. They're doing this and they're making all this money. Well, you don't make money until you have to, how it is. You got to build up to a certain amount of subscribers and views and watch hours. And then when you get to that point where you can start making money off of what you're doing, it's not like you're going to be a millionaire unless you have like millions of subs. And then these people start handing money, to you hand over fist. And that's how these guys get all of this fancy equipment to keep the entertainment rolling. And it's all on the backs of innocent people.
I had said, do you think they're doing it themselves? But I'm gonna take that back, because do you remember Uri Geller?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, so he was huge in the 80s. He's still around, but he was a magician, and he claimed to have like telepathy powers. He was known for bending spoons with his mind.
Okay, yes, now I know who you're talking about.
He'd bend a spoon.
I didn't know his name, but yeah.
Yep. Uri Geller.
Yeah, you do the rub thing there. Yep.
With heat. And the spoon would bend. And you would bend it and break it in two pieces, and he would do it with heat and start bending it and everything. Well, the guy that I was telling you about in your live was James Randi, and he debunked it, and he was bending spoons as well, right, showing how it was done, and people were amazed, like going, oh my gosh, only Uri Geller could do that. But James Randi came on live television and showed, watch, I could do it too. And he started bending spoons and breaking them in half and going, no, and if you watch, and boom, the spoon would fall and break in half.
Right.
Well, he started debunking Uri Geller. So he went on to this James Randi, which I told you, people started hating him because he was debunking these people. And James Randi went on to this one guy's talk show, and this guy really laced into James Randi, started going, Uri Geller is real. He can really talk to the dead and blah, blah, and I want you off my stage. And he berated the guy. He was like, he flipped out on James. And I got to thinking, when I asked you that question, is that because these people are doing it themselves? And I took it back, because that talk show host, he's not a magician. He wasn't bending spoons or anything like that. He had nothing to hide. It was because he wanted to believe so bad that Uri Geller was bending spoons, that Uri Geller had this ability. Uri Geller could also do things like Uri Geller was on the Johnny Carson show, where he would do like salt and pepper shakers, picture like in a diamond shape, say there were 10 of them, and he had to pick something about the salt and pepper shakers, but he was going to do it on his program. James Randi wasn't there, but James Randi called Johnny Carson and said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to use your own salt and pepper shakers.
Right.
Don't use his. So Uri Geller finds out that he has this is all on YouTube, by the way.
Right, that they switched him up?
Yes. Well, Uri Geller was like, I don't feel strong today. I just don't feel like... He's like, I didn't know we were going to be doing this today. I thought... He's like, I don't feel the energy and stuff like that. He's like, well, Johnny Carson's like, well, what difference does it make if they're your salt and pepper shakers or my salt and pepper shakers.
Right.
It's kind of like the same thing you said about a doll being in a case or not,
Right.
glass or not. And so Uri Geller was like, no, I can't do it. The energy's not here. The energy, blah, blah, blah. So Uri Geller faded out of existence after James Randi, but there's still those believers.
Oh,
that
yeah.
are like still buying to Uri Geller, and Uri Geller still writes books here and there and stuff like that. So to answer my own question, it doesn't matter because there's still people that are like, no, he really can speak to the dead. And I believe that.
Right.
Johnny
You got your diehard fans.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, yeah.
And see, the debunkers are going through that, and have been going through that, death threats and everything else on their families and, just really obscene stuff. And, all over a video that right there, they pointed out was falsified or something was fake. And these people are just way over the top serious. I get it. You're defending somebody that you like, but when the evidence is right there in your face, how can you dispute that?
So like, I think maybe when I was younger, maybe I would have that attitude where I'm like, no, man, come on. But now that you're seasoned and you're older, like you kind of,
you see life through, better
eyes.
Not
through rose-colored glasses. Like you got to take a step back and start like going, I gotta look at this in a different way. I remember in like the early 90s or the 80s, I remember a camera crew, they went into a battleship, and I don't remember what battleship it was, but they set up a camera where this ship was supposedly haunted and stuff, or a captain, and they would see the captain or whatever, this crew, and they left the camera overnight, and they would hear clanking and stuff. And like the crew, they would hear talking, and you could never. It's kind of the same thing. You could never make out what they're saying, but it was like almost like a mess hall chatter, like tons of voices where you can never make out just one. And I gotta say, when I think I couldn't ever find that on YouTube or anything. That sounded pretty real. Like, but I wish I could find that again so I could watch it now, because when I saw that, I was probably 14 or 15 years old.
Right.
And that really freaked me out. And I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty neat. But now I'd like to see it because, you got to wonder now, like, could somebody have been in like, because I remember like they had it aimed toward like the bow.
Right.
But that could have been somebody on the other side banging with a hammer the bulkhead or something for a show, for a great show,
right?
Late night show or something. But it was like a documentary on this ship, and I don't remember what it was. But yeah, I'd like to dig that up again. But
I think you do a great job. I think you should be a debunker.
I got a family.
Even if you did like a reaction channel to a lot of these things, because you pick up on stuff really quick, and. It's stuff like I said, like something like I've seen a video, and then you've seen the video, and then you'll say, "Well, did you see this?" And I'll think, "Oh, no, I didn't." And I go back, and then I catch it, and I'm like, "Oh, wow!" It's so. You really have a talent for it.
I just don't want people mad at me. I'm not trying. I don't want.
Well, that's just the way it goes.
Well, yeah, but I don't. I mean, I don't know. And that's why, like, I want more people to go out and do things where if something happens, fine. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And let you decide. That's what I want. Like, because it's not about like debunking. That's why, like, I'm glad there's channels like that. But it's sad that they have to have debunking channels.
Yes.
They're
pretty much the paranormal policeman.
Yeah. And it's like, what?
It is sad that you have to have that.
I know. And that's what stinks. It's like all of a sudden somebody said, you know what? I'm sick of this. And let's start. Even the word debunking had to be invented to come out and start like you said, debunking police.
Yeah, catching the con artists. Yeah.
Yeah, it stinks, like
all the fakers. Well, that's why I said, like what I said from the day one in my first video, even before I started doing the videos, that if I do any kind of filming, and I think it's worthy enough to put on, I will. And the reason is this raw is because I suck at editing. I totally suck at it. I really don't want to have to do it. I want you to see what I saw at that moment and you take it at face value.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, doing the YouTube thing, you have to make it nice and neat and pretty, and so it attracts the attention.
Yeah.
Apparently, whether I like to do it or not, apparently I'm going to have to do it.
Well, it's like me, like you like doing the live, and I don't think I'm gonna like doing the live. I don't know. I
I think you do great. Well, no, you do great at live, so I think you would do it well. It's just you got to get over that first initial fear. A lot of people have a fear of it, and I always say, you know what? It's like just talking to the video phone call. It's a one-on-one.
You know what it is? I think it's relying on other people that I don't think I want.
Oh, you mean as far as guests or whatever that
yeah,
is?
I think that's like I'm very like for example, my neighbor who's like, hey, anytime you want, you can borrow my tractor, and I'm like, I don't even want to go borrow his tractor because I just always feel like I don't know. I don't want to rely on anybody else, and
Right.
And I think that's part of it. Like, sometimes I feel like they're gonna let me down.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and then what you do is you just have a backup. Like instead of somebody just like lets you just, hey Laura, you want to come on? Sure, we'll talk about filling up their headlight fluid or stuff like that.
Change the summer air from the winter air out of the
right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have to tell you this. I'm sorry before I forget.
Yeah.
George comes home from work the other day, and of course he works in a dealership.
Yeah.
And he was out buying something for the dealership, and of course he's got the shirt on, has the logo.
Yeah.
And the lady goes, oh, you work for the dealership? He goes, yeah. And she says, do you know where I can get nitrous for my tires?
Oh, nitrogen.
And we're like, George's like, what?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I need to get the nitrous, she says, to fill up my tires. And George goes, well, I don't think anybody here does that. He says, and I know that we don't, so I don't know what to tell you because she's called all over. So then when he comes home and he's telling me this, and I'm like, wait a minute, isn't nitrous explosive? And I says, isn't it, that's the gas they use to make a car go faster and the flames come out of the exhaust? And he's like, yeah. I go, why would you put that in your tire?
No, she meant nitrogen.
But that's not what she said.
Yeah.
Because then I was saying to Joseph, wait a minute, tell me for real that nobody puts nitrous in their tires. Because all I could think of is them hitting a pothole and the whole car blows up.
Yeah, it won't seep out as fast like the alloy. So like steel, you ever see like, how like your car, like your tires will like lose pressure?
Yeah.
So like your truck, you have alloy rims. If you had steel, like they would never lose
pressure. Right.
So that the nitrogen will like solve that problem, like so that you hardly ever have to do that.
Right.
So you have it like maintains your tire pressure.
Yeah, it might take like for a year or so before you even gotta even be bothered with it.
Yeah, and so like those newer ones are like that. And the tire pressure monitor systems are more efficient with that nitrogen gas.
Right. And I still don't think anybody around here does that.
No, they do. But if it were me, like you don't have to do that.
Right.
And so
when she got her car, apparently it was that way, and she wanted to have it done again. But like I said, when she told George,
yeah, some people are real sticklers for that, and it's okay. Like she might think like it's going to void her warranty or something, but like
I don't know.
You can tell people till they're blue in the face about stuff like that, and they'll like be like, no.
She'll find somebody that'll come around and tell her, no, you're not getting it, so forget it.
Yeah. I remember
when she said it the first time, I'm thinking, great, wait, that's explosive. You can't put that on the tire.
Yeah. You remember the Hindenburg?
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember a woman came in. She came in and her windshield was it wasn't leaking or anything, but like around the window windshield, the rubber was coming off just a little bit,
Right.
the window trim. And she was like, can you come out and look at my, no, I was working at Advanced Auto a while back. And, can you come out and look at my car? She's like, oh, sure. I looked at it. I go, oh, it's fine. I go, is it like leaking into your car? Any water? She's like, no. But she was like freaking out. She's like an older woman. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I was like, well, you can like put some, this stuff called RTV. You can put some silicone in there. I go, but if it's, not leaking, I go, we could put some of that in there. It's this stuff. She's like, no, I'm going to have to have my window replaced, my windshield replaced. That's. I was like, ma'am, I go, there's nothing wrong with your windshield. She's like, no. She was just like
She wouldn't listen to you.
No, wouldn't listen. I was like, that's probably the best thing to do then. Just, you get to the point in your life where like, get your windshield replaced.
That's all, yeah. Pay all that extra money for nothing.
Because I don't care. I just don't care if you want your windshield replaced. You could buy a $6 tube of RTV, and it'll outlast
fill it in.
It'll outlast your car. That
Pretty
stuff
much.
will like till the end of the world will be existing, and your car will be gone.
Right.
But you know what? Get an $800 windshield.
There you go. Go do that, and they'll do that to take advantage of her. Because that's what they do.
It just, I love it when people would come in and go, hi, I need brakes for my car. Okay, front or back? I don't know. I think it's the back. Okay, and what is it? I don't know. It's the blue one out there in the parking lot.
Isn't it sad?
Well, I don't know what you drive. I don't live with you. And you like literally like got to go out and like,
you own it and you don't even know what it is.
Yeah, they don't even know what they drive. And Laura, this is gonna sound sexist, but this is men too.
I know.
Oh, and like this is another thing. So my my boss, she was
right.
She was the manager of the building of Advanced Auto. This was like 5-6 years ago. This is a while back, 6-7 years ago. And we had when you buy windshield wipers, you get free replacement. Like we put them on for you.
Right.
So men would come in during the winter, and guess who would put them on?
You guys.
They'd make her put them on.
Wow.
Like on their like lifted pickup trucks. While they're sitting in there, she's putting them on. And like she'd walk in and go, "Did they at least give you a tip?" No.
Oh. Well, it's little girly men there.
Oh yeah. Well, we live in a alpha beta society, and they're mostly betas. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Wow. No, hey, it's your opinion. And not for nothing, it's truth. I've seen it. I say nowadays that's what it is. Nobody wants to work on nothing.
It's like, dude, you can't put your own windshield wipers on, and you're gonna make this girl go out and put them on for you? Are you kidding me?
It's sad that the girl knows how to do it and you're not gonna do it.
And it's Laura, and you know what? It's not even that they know how to do it.
They just don't want to.
And they're gonna because it's free, they're gonna make the girl do it. And she's like, she has to bring out a little step stool to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Yep. That's the way it is.
And so you might be saying, well, why didn't you do it, Bill? Because I was a delivery driver and I wasn't allowed. There was like certain things that I couldn't do. So I wasn't allowed to do it. So like I couldn't run the register or anything like that. So like I basically like couldn't do
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran parts.
No, I grew up with a history of mechanics in my family, and we did it all, including me.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know when George and I, when we first started dating, and he got his first car, and then he needed a new muffler system, and I got right down on the ground there with him, got underneath there, was doing what I had to do, and his father goes, "You need to marry that girl."
Yeah.
He said, "Because you're never going to find another girl that's going to get under your car and get dirty."
Oh, totally. I mean, there is a lot of women that will do it, still today, but
yeah,
it's few and far between.
Well, now today, the newer cars, they make it so you can't fix them.
There are some that are still pretty simple.
It's pretty big. I mean, some of them, Bill, ain't no joke. You got to read the owner manual how to turn the car on.
Well, you know, they don't come with owner's manuals anymore.
I mean, there's, George was getting some of the, when he has to take a car or go pick up a car, and he's like, "When the hell do you start this thing?"
Yeah,
Some have a feature that the car won't engage and drive until the seatbelt is connected. And it's just this really weird things that you got to push just to make it go. And it I says, well, that's the wave of the future, and we're old, and
I don't like that.
the car has more control than you do.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yep.
Same thing like with the electric vehicles. Everybody's going, "Oh, get the electric vehicles."
Don't get me going.
I'm going to get you going
Don't get
because
me
I
started,
can't
please.
stand them.
Please, I've got high blood pressure as it is. Really, it's bad.
High blood pressure. So yeah, it's that is the one other huge debate there.
It's a gimmick.
Well, sir, you want to talk about the future plans for Carburetors and Coffee?
Yeah. Actually, I keep a list right here of videos that I have to do. And let me see, I have written down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in my head that I've got to do. But I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I have 3 in the can that are unedited right now.
Right.
A 4th one that I should start filming. And so like I always have content, and then so on this list, and then I check off, and then what I do too is like what I'll do is I keep these yellow pads here.
Right.
So like I have a method to my madness. I buy these on eBay, and like I go through them. So when I categorize my videos, I will, because like once I upload all my, there's like tons of files.
Right.
And if I don't categorize them, I'll have to go through and like video 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, because then it's like a plethora of like mix match that I'm like, I don't know what I just did.
Right.
So before I even like put anything into like DaVinci, I have to go through the raw files and like mark what they even are. So, because before what I used to do is I would open up DaVinci and start going, okay, and like the files are all, the camera assigns it numbers. So I'm like, what is this? So I'd have to like watch it in DaVinci and go, oh, that's what that one is. Oh, that's what that one is. So now DaVinci's open, but like I have no idea like where I'm even at.
What video you're doing. Right?
Yeah. So what I do now is like before I even go into DaVinci, I get all my folders organized. Like the next one I'm going to do is like the Equinox front brakes. So what I'll do is like within that folder, I'll assign all of those a name, like in order, so that once I put them into DaVinci, now they're all in order 1, 2, 3, all the way to like sometimes it could be like 40 clips.
Right.
Sometimes it could be like 60, but they're all in order. So that way, when I'm in DaVinci, I know, and then I'll write it down on this pad all the way 1 through 60. And then I check off all the way 1 through 60 that I know I used it already. And that way I'm not ping ponging all over the place and stuff like that. But
right.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my process of when I do that. And it made life a lot easier for me. So that way I'm not like, where am I? And like it reduces my time when I'm in DaVinci, and
right.
and I'm able to categorize stuff. And the way I look at it is like a recipe. So that way, like if like you have like spices and they're like, you might like go, oh, that looks like onion powder. I think that's garlic salt. If there was no labels on anything, you'd be like lost. You might think you know what it is until you open it, and then you gotta smell it. That's kind of like with like if I didn't label all those clips, at least now the spices have labels. Okay, I know that this is onion powder.
Right, you know where you're going.
Yeah, so that's kind of like, if I didn't do that, man, I'd be so lost, and it helps speed things up. So that's I guess what's next for Carburetors and Coffee. Yeah. That didn't really answer your question. But
Just
yeah.
well, yeah, you're getting those all together, and then you'll be cranking them out one by one.
How about you, Laura? What's next for you, kid?
Next for me is I've got actually a whole month full of exciting interviews coming up.
Yeah.
Actually, this Wednesday I have Dom from Investigation 13. He's Canadian-based investigator, over 40 years experience.
Wow.
Really great guy.
Oh, he's out of
Canada.
What part of Canada do you know yet?
I'm thinking Montreal.
Oh, sweet. You know, I know I said this, but me and Mike Pritchard, I mean, I said this in the chat, but me and Mike Pritchard, we went to Montreal together.
Right.
And we had a blast. That was awesome up there. I've been there twice. Incredible city.
Yeah. Well, this guy runs tours and everything and all of this now. And so it's really, really cool. And I want to have him on because he's so smart.
That's
so
this
much
Wednesday?
Experience. And that's this Wednesday.
Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be great.
And then after that, I have one, actually two, because on the 13th, I have an Ontario Paranormal Magazine.
Yeah, by the way, when we say this Wednesday, July 10th, we mean
yeah, the 10th.
Yep.
And then on the 13th, I have the Ontario Paranormal Magazine. He is the creator and editor of this magazine, and it's great because he brings awareness to all of the groups that are out there and what they've been doing. So he'll be coming up. He's also an award-winning photographer that worked for National Geographic.
Holy cow, that's awesome.
And so I'm really looking forward to speaking with him. Actually, he's the one that gave me one of my first gifts of ever doing YouTube. He made me a poem, wrote me a poem. I've got it up on my wall.
Oh, no way.
So it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's really nice, man.
And like I said, then I've got a whole list of other people coming up. I think everybody's going to really enjoy.
So he sent that off to you and everything?
He wrote it and sent it to me online, and I printed it out.
Oh, no one's ever done anything like that for me.
You want me to write you something, Bill? I'll write you something. Oh, see how you are? Well, you know what? No.
No. What was I going to say? Oh, I want to see you get out and do something.
Yes, as long as
promise.
I'm waiting for this weather. It's terrible.
Stop it.
Now it's too hot. I can't.
No. Okay, so wait a minute. No.
I did. I have several photographs taken.
It's too muddy. It's too rainy. It's too hot. Right. And then you know what? Fall's gonna hit. It's too rainy. Right. It's too cold. It's too wintery.
No, I'll be able to do more in the fall. But as soon as this heat wave breaks, you got to remember, fibromyalgia. My body's ruled by the barometer.
Listen, I know.
And the summer is really, really bad for me.
But you gotta just. I do it every day.
It's been cooling down at night, so we go later in the evening, and then I go for photographs. And I did do some filming. Remember, I was telling you I did some filming, and then the camera just died.
Oh, you know what?
So now I have backup batteries. I have the new camera.
So this is the one I have.
Right.
Oneonta is too bad because there's one of those on Marketplace.
Right.
I couldn't believe it. Wow. I'm actually, I think I'm going to go get it.
You're going to get it? You might as well grab it when you can.
Yeah.
Well, I got one. I told you the deal I got on my camera.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't pass that up.
Yeah. So you got to start doing video. Just start.
So,
do video. And like I said, something happens, fine. If nothing happens, fine. Just do a great video of and speak and do a tour.
Then I just have to leave George off to the side or in the truck because every time I do a video, George is swearing.
Yeah. Tell him to not just tell him to pipe down, or like you said.
I told him that the last time I said I'm doing this video, and I said all you're doing is throwing out his F-bombs. Yeah, you want to shut up?
Yeah, just tell him, dude. Listen, this is important to me. Stop talking.
He doesn't think. So now that I told him and gave him the heads up, I said, you just drop me off in a section. I'll walk through, do my thing. You circle around and come back and get me.
See, I'm Audi 5000. You stay here.
Right. So, but it is coming. Like I said, last time I was out, I was really upset about that one that I videotaped, and the still pictures come out and the video didn't.
Yeah, because the battery died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
up
that's what
north,
it
right?
was. The battery just crapped out, and it was the other camera that I have, and which it ticked me off because it was charged. So I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, those kind of batteries, they quit. You
Because
probably
the
need to get a
heat
new
and
one.
all of that could have been, who knows. But it
Yeah,
was
it's probably,
hard getting to that cemetery, and I had all of that, and it was just all I got was the still shots.
yeah. And what is it? Was it like a 40-minute to get up there?
About that.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not the
yeah, because
shortest
we had to
drive.
find the one way in. You couldn't make it through. It was just a giant swampy mud hole filled with water.
Right.
So we had to turn around and backtrack and go the
Was
long
George
way.
wigging out?
Well, no. Well, because we sat there and thought for a minute, should we drive through that? And then he's like, no, because I don't know how deep it is.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah.
Didn't trust it. So, I mean, it was like a small pond for crying out loud.
Yeah.
We had to back up, had to back up a way so we could find a spot to turn around.
You know, it would have
I mean,
been
the
great.
road was only like this wide.
You know, it would have been great. Too bad you didn't have your camera at that time and filmed all that. How you were getting there. That would have been awesome. That would have been an awesome video.
Yeah, I think it would have. But the thing is, I was paying attention to the directions on how to find it.
Yeah, but still, unless George was
So,
like probably swearing though.
and yeah, he was swearing, and I
Your whole
wasn't into
video
it
is just
either.
gonna be like one
Be a
beep.
bunch, right? Be right. Thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah.
So it's and he just forgets that I'm filming and he lets it rip. So we get turned around, and then we went all the way around to all the way on the other end. And that was passable, but the potholes were horrendous. So you had to slow right down. But finally we got to the cemetery, and they keep it well maintained, and
Yeah.
security cameras, sign on the gate saying no trespassing, but then it says park closes at dark.
Well, there you go.
And I'm like, all right, well, which is it? We can't go on there, or we can. And I told her, well, who cares? I'm
Yeah,
going
what
to
are
do it
they gonna do?
anyway.
Arrest
What
you?
are they going to get me for? Taking a picture of some headstones?
Yeah,
And by the time they get out here, we'll be gone.
yeah, and I think it's more because I think they're looking for them teenagers that.
It was because of the vandals, because some of the stones were broken. The cameras were there; they were all over the trees, so they do monitor it.
Yeah.
One of the tombs, above ground tombs, it was busted open.
Yeah.
I didn't videotape that because I thought that was disrespectful, but George did look inside. He said it was filled with dirt and leaves.
Yeah, there's one. They I guess filled it with cement long ago. So.
So but it was great to be able to catch that. Only trouble is, it's so old. I'm going to have to really do some digging to see if I can find out who actually is buried there.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't really read them that well.
They're all on findagrave.com.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to dig that up and see because I want to see what their connection is to the Revolutionary War and to General Steuben. So
yeah. Yep.
And eventually we'll probably go back up through there, and I'll videotape it again. And I'll just have the backup batteries and cameras just in case.
Yeah. Did you order those yet for the new camera?
Not the batteries. No, not yet.
Yeah.
But that is on the list. So I have them for the next time going out. And when I do local stuff around here, which I will be doing real soon, again, because I've been going several nights, just taking stills of all the stones that I want to look up and of the historical figures. But I want to go back and do a whole video from gate all the way through to the spooky tree.
Oh yeah, that's cool. The gnarly tree with the door.
And I never really noticed that until you said that. You go, it looks like it has a door in it. I'm like, oh God, he's right. It does.
Yeah, it does.
And George's like, yeah, it's the doorway to hell. He goes, knowing you'd probably go in there and check it out because you're so nosy.
No, it's a portal. It's a portal.
I said, I'm not going in there. I said, I'm not that nosy.
People are probably wondering what we're talking about. Now you got
the tree. Well, guys, the picture's on my page.
Yeah,
the picture's on my page. Yeah. If that thing opened up, I would be out of there.
I think you should. I think it's the gnarly tree because it looks gnarly.
Well, like I said, doesn't it look like it's two different trees? Somebody put the bottom tree and then they stuck a top on it because it just doesn't go together.
It looks, and
then
it looks like it has a door in it.
It's been there for like 40 years that I know of.
Dead.
Like just like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's dead too. Yeah.
So I don't.
With a
I
door.
mean, do they leave it there for the effect? I have no idea.
I think they're just like, well, it's not hurting anything.
You know, just leave it alone, and it's not gonna fall. It's just there.
Yeah.
And George always says, "Yeah, and at night when it gets dark, that's why you don't want to go back when it gets
It
dark."
walks around.
He walks around.
Yeah, I knew. And then it just.
You know how the things stick out like that? He goes, it bends over, and then it starts walking around.
Yeah, what there was a video game that used to do that, and then before the sun came up, it like went back.
It would shoot back up like a tree.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gets it. So that's what we call it, the spooky tree.
There was a Blair Witch game, computer game used to do that.
Oh yeah.
The tree used to come out of the ground and walk after you like that.
Well, maybe
really,
this is one of those trees.
Yeah, it was the Blair Witch tree.
But like I said, then you've spotted that the trunk looked like it had a door, and I never really looked at it that way. And then when you said that, I looked and go, "Oh God, yeah, it does."
Yeah.
It's not one door I'm going to check out. I don't care.
Hello.
No. Yeah, you know, God knows, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it goes underground to everybody.
Yeah, it opens up. Like, what was it? That one, yeah, it was Star Trek.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna open up like a Star Trek door.
The Star Trek episode where it was with the Dyson sphere. I think no, not with the Dyson sphere. Remember they were on the planet, and then the elevator things come up to the surface because everybody lived below ground.
Yeah,
and they were like tubes, and it opened up, and then they would grant. That's exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's like.
It's the tube, you know, to the Star Trek adventure. So, nowadays, who knows? I wouldn't put it past anybody. Nowadays, you never know.
Well, I was thinking maybe it's maintenance for all the coffins. You know, it's a door, and they can just.
The guy comes out with a lawnmower.
Yeah.
The weed trimmer.
Yeah, it's like when.
Or it's the doorway, or like I said, there's a couple of tombs that are down on the mountainside there, or the hillside, but they're all bricked up. And maybe that's how they come up, is through the tree.
Yeah, hey,
you know, at night, you know, that's how much the vampires are.
You got to tell people. You got to go to Laura's your community one.
It's the community.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what she's talking about, or what we're talking about, you got to go see Laura's community page to see the tree.
The posted of the spooky tree.
Yeah, the spooky gnarly tree.
Yeah,
it looks like a.
And the thing is, kills me. I just want to know what kind of tree that was, because the trunk doesn't match the branches, so I don't even know what breed of tree that is.
To me, it looked like ash. It looked like an ash tree to me.
Just the weirdest thing.
You know what reminded me of on Time Bandits? You ever see the movie Time Bandits?
Long time ago.
Those creatures, those tall creatures with like the cow head.
Oh, I don't. Is that what the tree looks like?
Yeah, that's what those things look like to me. That's
you sent me that before.
Oh, this is perfect right here. Hopefully this will pop up. So yes, all right, cool. All right, I gotta share this with you, and then we could go. All right, so I'll show this to you.
Just wait for it to pop up. Oh, there it is.
Okay, so you see, like the head on it, like the eyeball,
right?
Like that. There's part of the tree.
Yes, you did highlight that. Yeah, you sent it back to me.
Yeah, where I zoomed in,
like where it's the knot hole.
Yes, that part reminded me. That's why I zoomed in, because it looked like that part.
Right. Well, maybe that's what comes out of the tree.
Yeah, that's what that grows into. That tree grows into that thing. And if you guys have never seen this movie, Time Bandits,
right? It's
an awesome movie, and also so is the commentary on this DVD.
Okay. So yeah, to tell George that's what comes out of the tree and mows the lawn at night
Yeah, you should.
around all those old stones. It's funny.
Cool. So now people are gonna be like, oh, now they got to go see this tree.
Well, we got to go see the tree. Right. What the hell are they talking about? The freak tree. You never know what you're going to find out on the road.
I'm gonna crop this picture so you can post it on your community.
And say that's what comes out of the freak tree.
Yep. I gotta save it.
Oh boy. Well, Bill, we have yapped and filled out. We actually filled in everybody what we're up to and what we're doing.
There, I saved my screen.
Everybody, we're planning on doing this at least once a week. So if you're interested, please remember to hit that thumbs up. Please check out Bill's channel, Carburetors and Coffee, and subscribe. He puts on a good show for everyone.
I try.
Even us. And also, like us if you would, please. It really does help out. And I look forward to doing this again with you next week, Sir Bill.
Yeah, definitely, man. Sounds good.
We've got some interesting subjects coming along, guys. So we want to share them with you. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments and we will answer them to the best of our ability.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, sir. Until then, I bid you adieu.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye, Bill.
All right, bye.